If you want something, buy it today. Genuinely, if you want something, buy it today. Everybody plans their life as though they're going to live to 70, 80. A lot of you are wrong about that. A lot of you will die in your 30s and 40s. That's just human nature. I had this discussion with a young friend of mine named Alex a couple years ago when he was talking about buying Bitcoin. He had about $25,000, about one Bitcoin at the time. And he said, Tristan, I've always wanted a BMW and I've always wanted a nice fast car. I don't have it. He's the guy who I then bought a Lamborghini, but I digress. Or should I buy a Bitcoin? This was his question. And I said, you know what, Alex? You're 19 years old and you can't get your dick sucked in the back seat of a Bitcoin. And what I meant by that, as vulgar of an example as it was, is that you can buy crypto at your age. Maybe you're watching this and you're 17, 21, 25, and you could save for the future, plan for the future, and think maybe when I'm 35, I'll have all those things I've ever dreamed of. The ideal situation is to do both. Have all the things you've ever dreamed of and buy some cryptocurrency. But essentially nobody cares when you get to 45, 50. If you save your Bitcoin now and you're a billionaire at 50, then you get a Lamborghini, then you get a Bentley and a Rolls Royce and a boat. You're just some 50-year-old man with money. Nobody cares. When you're young, it is impressive. That's why I'm going to have a super yacht before I turn 40. That's why I had an Aston Martin when I was 21 years old. That's why I have a Bugatti when I was, when did I get that? 32, 31. I have not just purchased the most expensive lifestyle items in the world, which I massively enjoy, plus are a big show-off factor. I did it at the right age. I did it at a very young age, and it's always more impressive. If I meet a 50-year-old man and he shakes my hand, he's got a Rolex on his wrist, it's a completely different feeling than when a 20-year-old reaches out his hand to shake my hand and there's a Rolex on his wrist. That 20-year-old, it's not expected of him to have that Rolex, whereas with the 50-year-old it is. So my financial advice to everybody has always been the same. Spend 50% of your money as though you're going to live 50 more years, and spend 50% of your money as if you're going to live 50 more days. I call it the 50-50-50 rule, because you might live 50 more days, and that might be it. And with your dying breath, laying on the side of that road after getting hit by that female driver, you'll be like, I died without ever owning a Rolex or a supercar, but I've got some Bitcoin. Nobody cares. I understand the temptation to go on pump fun. I understand looking at the results that some people have made. I understand seeing the 12,000% ups and the dreaming of, if I can just make that money by betting on a shitcoin, then my life is fixed. The odds are not in your favor, my friend. Pump fun is very much like a casino. You can watch a winner walk out with a beautiful girl on his arm and $100,000 in cash in his pocket and think, I dream of being like him. But for every winner that walks out of that casino, hundreds of losers also leave that casino. You know, I heard a quote once. It said, the loss is always so much more to the loser than the win is to the winner. And it's true. You may feel good if you manage to catch a quick pump and make a bit of money on pump fun and on Solana meme coins. But let me tell you something. When you lose, that feeling of loss that 99 out of 100 of you who try that is going to feel massively outweighs any benefit. If you're smart and you like crypto, buy some Bitcoin, buy some Ethereum, hold on to it, find a way of making fiat currency to put into crypto. Gambling on meme coins is a rich man's hobby. I gamble on meme coins, I really do. But when I lose money, I don't lose sleep over it. If that's all you've got, don't take the risk. Back when Bitcoin was cheap, I'm talking $3,000, there was a goal called the 21 Bitcoin Club. I wanted to be in the 21 Bitcoin Club. And the 21 Bitcoin Club means that you have 1/1,000,000th of all the Bitcoin that can ever possibly exist. And that's not accounting for all the millions of Bitcoin that have already been lost, destroyed, put on hard drives and flushed down the toilet and buried in landfills. 21 million Bitcoin are all the coin that can ever exist, ever. So if you have 21, you have 1/1,000,000th of all the Bitcoin. Imagine having 1/1,000,000th of all the dollars that existed. You'd be a trillionaire. And Bitcoin, a lot of people believe, is going to become the money. I feel like 21 Bitcoin may not be that achievable for people nowadays, but 2.1 Bitcoin maybe. 2.1 Bitcoin, if you work hard enough, you could save up the $200,000 it's going to cost you. But 2.1 Bitcoin gives you 1/10,000,000th of all the money that will ever exist, which is still an absolutely huge amount. I really believe at this day and age, when people like me have hundreds of Bitcoin, other people have thousands of Bitcoin, I feel like we're going to get to the stage where a whole coiner is going to be the equivalent of a multimillionaire. I believe that people are going to look at people and say, wow, he's got a whole Bitcoin. A whole Bitcoin may be worth 9, 10, 11. Michael Saylor thinks $13 million in today's spending value at one point. And this isn't even so far in the future. So I would absolutely advise everybody to put some money into Bitcoin today. 0.21, if that's all you can do. Because in 10 to 15 years' time, you're going to regret not buying it. Don't sell your cool stuff to buy more Bitcoin. Right now, people with low incomes but some assets are selling all their stuff they can to buy Bitcoin. Let me tell you something. If you have a nice Mercedes and that's all you have and you're in your town and that's what makes you cool, don't sell your Mercedes. Don't be a dork or a loser for the next 5 years with nothing tangible and nothing that makes you cool just to put money into Bitcoin. Instead, you're the man with the nice Mercedes. Go out there, make some money, put that into Bitcoin. Don't hibernate. Everyone's looking at hibernating. I'm trying to buy a boat. I'm buying new Bugattis. I'm buying new cars and still finding some money to put into Bitcoin. If I were playing the game that the boring nerds play, I would buy none of this stuff. Because if I spend $1 million on a car today, it's going to be worth $2 million in Bitcoin next year. I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. However, having cars is cool. I like having cars. And when you begin the hibernation process, once you put your money into Bitcoin and think, okay, well, we'll see where this goes. If it doubles, you won't ever want to sell half of it out to buy that car. So you're never going to take it. You're going to get addicted to the hibernation. You're going to get addicted to watching that chart go up as you sit in your bedroom with no one to suck your and no nice car to drive on the roads and no private jet to fly in and no boat to sail in. So don't be a nerd. Buy some crypto. Enjoy your life. Do both. Crypto very much is the gateway to global living, and the way that the world has changed over the last 30 years is scary. Hopefully, with Trump being elected, we're going to see a swing back. Hopefully, far-right national parties take control of their own countries, and we're going to see a swing back when it comes to things like freedom of speech. But it was unthinkable 25 years ago that you could have a political opinion and lose your bank accounts because of it. This happened to Nigel Farage. It certainly happened to me. It's happened with many people I know. I'm on a red list with a clean criminal record in every country I've ever visited. I'm on a red list for bank accounts. But I don't need bank accounts. You know, there are people whose sight gets better when they lose their hearing, whose hearing gets better when they lose their sight. I've got my life set up in such a way now that I don't ever want a bank account again. I've become the bankless man. I may well be one of the richest people on the planet who doesn't have a bank account. The only bank accounts I have right now are frozen with large sums of money in it that I can't touch. But you can't touch my crypto. No one can touch my crypto. Crypto is the future. If you want to be a sovereign man and have your own opinions and move around the world, you need crypto. Because in every single city in the world, you have what are called OTC agents. That means I can land in China tomorrow, and if I identify a nice OTC agent over the counter who sells cash for crypto, all I need is the information in my mind and a cheap electronics device, and I could get to that man, send him some crypto, and get $100,000 in Chinese yen for spending. I could do the same in Tokyo, I could do the same in Seoul, South Korea, Singapore, Dubai, Miami, Florida, Canada, Alberta, Mexico, or Brazil. I could do it anywhere in the world, and no bank could stop me. Nobody could stop me from moving my money, because my money doesn't move until I want it to. Get some crypto. The difference between holding crypto on an exchange and in a cold wallet is very, very simple. I'm going to give you the example. Imagine cash, right? No, imagine gold. You could put gold in a bank. I'm not sure if anyone's aware of this. Every single bank in the world takes gold, and you could deposit gold in a bank, just like you can cash. Now, if you have gold or cash in a bank, it's safer. And if you have gold or cash in your pocket, it is not as safe. But who keeps you safe from the bank? Exchanges in the crypto world are very much like banks are in the traditional fiat currency world. Because if I have my gold and my cash in my pocket, in bags, in my security van, flying around the world, I have access to it at all times, and it is mine just mine. No one can touch it. However, if I have it in a bank and I want to send $1 million transfer, my bank can ask me some question like, well, what do you need the money for? It's my money. How dare you ask what I need the money for? If I have gold in the Bank of England or the Bank of America and I say, you know what, I want to withdraw $500,000 of gold, please send it to Dubai. It takes time, money, shipping. It's heavy. And also they can ask, well, what do you need to take the gold out for? Because it's mine. That's why crypto exchanges are now becoming like banks. You will have money on a crypto exchange and you'll say, you know, I want to withdraw $10,000. Well, here's a KYC form. We need to know our customer. Tell us your name and your address and your country of. Why the f are you asking me questions? This isn't why I got cryptocurrency in the first place. Not to mention, and I'm not going to put any exchanges on blast, an exchange could be subpoenaed by a government and have their crypto that's yours taken by that government. I had cryptocurrency taken by the Romanian government. About $1 million, and all these clowns are laughing at me. Why'd you have your crypto taken? Are you stupid? That was just my pocket change. That was just my day-to-day wallet for spending, for moosing. But I was using it in exchange. I have a lot more crypto where that came from, and you ain't finding a single penny more of it. But exchanges will pass your money over to governments if they get subpoenaed to do so. So, just like you shouldn't keep your gold in a bank, just like your money is safer under your mattress than it is in a bank in 2024's financial climate, your cryptocurrency is much safer in cold wallets. Cold wallets which ideally are not logged in anywhere, cold wallets which only you and maybe some close friends in case you die have access to. That's the way to do it. Don't keep it on exchanges. Exchanges are good for buying, selling, swapping. They have great prices, great rates. Move it there, exchange it, take it off. There are certain plays in crypto I can always recommend. But making money fast as opposed to learning the skill set that's going to allow you to make money over your lifetime are two very different things, you see. In my university, the crypto campus professor teaches you how to spot good buys, bad buys, solid investment strategies, when to leverage trade, how much to leverage buy, and he doesn't tell you exactly what to do and when. Because copycatting him, he's a millionaire who makes his money trading cryptocurrency, isn't what we want to teach you. We want to teach you critical thinking skills so you can go ahead and make those decisions yourself. Maybe you'll make more money than our professors, or maybe you'll lose it all. But let me tell you something. There's a very old saying which stands truer today than ever before, and that's if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, and if you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. What I want to do, and what Andrew is trying to do, is teach young men to fish. I don't know where you're watching this video, but it might not be around forever. The Matrix may take it down. However, up here there's a link to my Telegram channel. Please click it. All the daily Tristan Tate content is going to be posted there, and that channel isn't going anywhere.
Stop being so hard on me. Damn, dude. You yourself even know heartbreak hurts.
Heartbreak does hurt.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Heartbreak hurts.
Okay, so come on. Bear with me a little bit, bro.
How long ago did you break up?
About a month or two ago.
Why do you think she left you?
No, it was mutual.
Why do you think she left you?
I was emotional. I missed people. I missed them, and I knew they missed me. So I felt a strong sense of missing.
You cried?
There were tears that ran down my face, but I did not cry.
I mean, that's crying. Did you shed tears in your cell?
I'm an emotional man. I think men are hyper emotional. We just have to control it. Well, emotions are feedback. The idea that men don't feel emotions is incorrect. We feel emotions. I would actually argue we feel emotions with certain emotions stronger than women. I would argue that we feel heartbreak stronger than women. I would argue we feel anger like a woman could never understand. I would argue we are extremely emotional. Rage, pure rage. Well, it's feedback. So when you get the feedback, it's all about how you internalize it and how you process it, right? It's having stoicism's not feeling emotions. It's feeling the emotion and going, okay, why is this happening? How much does this really matter? What's the most intelligent move on the chessboard? When I was 20, me and my girlfriend broke up. I was with her for 4 years. I couldn't sleep. And this is before social media. You couldn't just chase it. Like, that was it. She's gone now. Like, she moved. I didn't know where she lived. That was it. And I couldn't sleep. Now, it wasn't like I was crying my eyes out, but I was just, where's my hoe at? I couldn't sleep.
Need something else to do. So I thought, I'll hit the gym at 6 a.m., hit the gym at 3 p.m., hit the gym at 8 p.m. I had nothing else to do but fight. So I took all that trauma, all that heartbreak, and I molded it into becoming a world level combatant, right? So there's nothing, what did we talk earlier about how trauma can mold you, how trauma can be a fantastic thing? Heartbreak
depression, sadness. These are all fantastic motivators. I'm telling you why they're a fantastic motivator. You go to a guy who's heartbroken. He has all the motivation in the world to send 300 text messages. He has the motivation. He's putting it in the wrong place.
That's 300 cold emails you could be sending to someone.
That's a lot of money you could have made.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, some of the greatest accomplishments in my life have come after a heartbreak.
Life's grim. And if you want to be a superhero, you have to understand in every single superhero movie, he is losing for 80% of the movie. He's going to suffer for the majority of the movie before he wins at the end.
It was mutual. Listen, people outgrow each other, bro. People, sometimes in life, they don't work out. And that's just how life is, bro. You got to understand and respect that. You know what I mean?
That's what girls say when there's someone else. Oh yeah, she left you to be by herself. She left you to sit at home alone and watch TV. Yeah, 100%. 100% that's why she left you, G. She left you because she just really wanted to sit at home by herself, not to run around with some other dude. You're totally right. She's a good person. She's different than all the rest. Completely agree.
Sometimes chicks got to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have to go to save the king. And too many dudes, most of the time, men truly lose at life. It's because they've attached themselves to a queen and they won't let her up. They won't sacrifice her. No matter what. I promised I'm going to stick by you. Our marriage vows, no matter what. And they just stay on that sinking ship till she eventually leaves his ass.
Maybe you should text her when you're lonely. Send her a text. She might text back this time. She's definitely not with some dude. You know all those other times she didn't reply? She was tired. She was asleep. Don't worry about it. This time she might text back. Miss you too. Wish we could have worked out. There's not some dude like me sitting next to her laughing at your messages.
Some guys will get butthurt about that, and they'll sit there and they'll wallow in self-pity. I've always thought the correct application of that energy is, okay, prove that she made a shitty mistake. Go out and become a billionaire. Go out and become a kickboxer. Go out and become a porn. Go out and build 2 buildings, right? And then she's going to look around when she's 50 pounds heavier in a year's time. They're like, I left him.
Right? Because the king moves 1 square at a time. And the queen can just zip across the board. You see all these chicks on a boat. For the man to get on that boat, it's 1 square at a time, right? He has to get a good job. He has to get his taxes right. He has to find a way to leverage credit. He has to meet the guy who sells the boats. He has to go through all this shit stage by stage by stage to finally pull off being on that yacht and having that yacht at the age of 56. A chick, what does she need? Lip fillers? Boom. Zip. On. She gets straight on. That's the difference between the king and the queen. But although the king is slower than the queen, he's the most important piece, right? The king can't die. The queen can die. The queen, sometimes you can be looking at a position and go, this is the only way out of this is to sacrifice. Sometimes you can do it. I'll tell you a very quick story. This is a story I've never told before. When I was, how old was I? 23? When I was 23, I was dating a ballerina. She was the prima ballerina of the Cambridge Ballet School in England. And I had no money. I was a fighter, but I was coming up. I didn't really have any money. And she lived far away, like an hour and a half away, but she used to come see me and we were good for like a year and a half. I loved this girl. Yeah. And, she finished ballet school. She started dancing in clubs in London. She couldn't get any ballet work. Surprise. Who ballet work, right? So she ends up doing like dancing and not stripping, but like dancing in the club, So now she's around all the London money every day. She's out dancing all the time. She's up late every night. She doesn't want to drive an hour and a half to come see me. None of this shit. So we're kind of falling apart a little bit. And, she ended up talking to someone famous, David Hay. I don't know who he is. He's a boxer. So David Hay starts texting this forth today. So anyway, when I finally saw her again, she was like, we had an argument. She's like, well, you know what? You think you're a fighter. This guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. I'm like, look, if you're going to go idiots, at least do it for money. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, if you're going to go idiots, at least get paid because they don't give a about you. Like if you're going to play this game, at least do it for money.
Right.
So I had this argument with her back and forth and I explained to her that these men are just going to use you. If you're going to do it, at least get paid. And when she left the house, Tristan said, why are you telling her to dudes? I'm like, no, I'm just understanding that in my chess position, I've lost this game.
Right.
The game is done now. Just sooner or later, she's out. All we do is argue. She's in the club every night. I'm just trying to say before she leaves, maybe I can get a little bit of money.
Yeah.
That's the queen sacrifice, right? Everything that's good that happens to me is all my fault. And everything bad that happens to me is all my fault. I take absolute responsibility. So chess teaches you that, right? And fighting's the same. People talk about lucky punch.
if you're fighting a dude who trained to punch people in the face and then he punches you in the face, it wasn't a lucky punch. That's what he does, right? So there's no luck involved. All the glory's with you. And it's also a very cerebral sport. Fighting's not, I mean, you need to be a tough guy, but tough guys have short careers. Smart guys have long careers.
It's going to hurt you, and how you use that pain is completely and utterly up to you. You can use that pain to galvanize yourself as a man and become a better man you've ever been. I'm not saying that I'm only successful because of some chick. I'm saying that every single time that I was heartbroken, I never wasted a second. I was never wallowing. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Especially as a young man.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the show. You're going to get your heart broken as a young man. I've had it happen to me.
Yep.
We've all had it happen to us. And it's not even about anger towards the girl. It's 7 years later, because as a man, you're going to get your value later.
Yes.
Right. So if you use that energy to put all that work in, these girls, they come back around, and I love to see them come back. Not because I'm in love again, just because it's like, you know, I told you so.
No, I said this, like anybody who tries to get revenge on a woman, that's incel energy. That's a wrong way of looking at it. The only revenge you can get on a woman who breaks your heart is success. Success is the best revenge. Just level up slowly. And when she messages you, you got two choices. You can either say, sorry, baby, you're not my type anymore. Boom, you win.
Put a plan together for the heartbreak if it comes, and make sure that plan is constructive.
Yeah.
Everything we've been saying on this podcast is true. Trauma's going to come, pain's going to come, and you have to use it in a constructive way. I'm not telling you to tell him to avoid the pain. I'm saying that when it comes, make sure it's used in a constructive way. And still to this day, that's all I would ever do. If something bad happened to me and I got really upset, I would find the most constructive possible outlet. And that's a conscious decision. You have to have the emotional control to make a conscious decision in that direction.
I think a lot of men should just embrace it. Like it's a part of life, and it just makes you tougher.
It is.
Like it was one really hard breakup when I was 26, and I was pretty messed up for like a month or two, but I had so much pride that I knew the relationship had to come to an end. And as much as I didn't want to, I was like, it's done. Cause she told me she'd been speaking to another guy. And I was like, okay, well, that's it. That's
you could do, yeah.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. You can't ever be that little bitch who goes back after that.
So there was times, obviously, she was like my best friend, and I was thinking about her a lot, you know, because I was living alone. I didn't really have like many friends or anything at that point in time. So there were so many times I wanted to message her, or even just like, oh, let's just give it another shot. But I was like, no, I refuse to do that because I'm too proud.
And that was the smart decision.
Yeah. And just overcoming that turned me into, I don't know, I'd say like just a bit of a savage, really. Like I was just cold after that. Like I was ruthless. And then that gave me the sort of the freedom, the confidence to start traveling the world and meeting so many new people.
It's a shame it didn't work out. Yeah. Shame for you. That is pretty funny.
Every single one of them has messaged me.
I know. At some point, they all message you, or you catch them watching.
And that one in particular, she did not stop messaging me because she knew.
Remember my quote. Everyone who I've ever lost is worse off without me. Tristan Tate original quote. Remember that one. Cause it's true. It's true. So yeah, fuck everyone I've ever lost. And I mean friends. I mean everybody. And it's very true.
And it's interesting as well. As you get older, you just get better. You just have more experience. You could even trust your gut instinct even more when it comes to women and so many life situations.
What do you define as a good woman? If you were to ask me, Tristan, how do you make a good coffee? I'd say 3 scoops black. But you might like cappuccinos. He might like pumpkin spice lattes or something gay. No offense, bro. Don't worry. My point is, what exactly defines a good woman? What do you want from her? What do you want to do with her? You want a woman who's fun? You want a woman who you're going to start a family with? You want a woman who's not going to gold dig or hustle you? I don't know what you want. So I can only give my version of the answer.
What do you look for in a woman then? What is a good woman to you?
Well, for lots of years of my life, over the years of my life, the definition has certainly changed. When I was 23, a good woman was any woman who was 10 out of 10. Like,
regardless of
personality, overlooked all of it. Didn't really care because at that point I was building my business. I was trying to kickbox. I wasn't interested in, having kids or a future or this kind of thing. But I think
it was more of a playboy.
Yeah, exactly. I was. And I've spent my whole life, I guess, meeting all sorts of various women. And that I think gives me the edge to be able to tell who's a good woman and who's not. But what I would say, the number one factor you want in a woman is honesty. Honesty in everybody is the most important thing that you can possibly look for. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. Let's say you meet two women. One of them has a body count of 9. Okay. She's 25. That's not super high, but it's not low either. Okay. I've got a body count of 9. I'm 25. And this woman approaches you and she talks to you, right? And you meet another girl and she tells you her body count is 8, but it's actually 4. You're better off with the woman who actually has the body count of 9. Because if the other woman will lie about that, what else is she lying about? And also, how do you know it's really 4? Once someone has displayed to you that they don't want to be honest, or that they're willing to package themselves as something that they're not in order to get in your good books, that is the ultimate red flag. Ultimate red flag above anything else.
Going after the fun.
Absolutely. They're not going after the cash. They're going after what the money provides.
Right.
So they're going after a guy who has the ability to take a time off work to go skiing. They're going after a guy who has the ability to fix their problems if they have a problem. They're going after a guy who has status or is high power or someone that makes them feel important standing next to. They don't actually care about what's in the bank or how much you spend. And you can look at guys who are unable to provide security, but they give a girl lots of fun, like the gardener who's banging the old rich wife. So I think women are just completely and utterly motivated by their emotions. And if you can spike an emotion in them one way or another, then you're going to be able to affect her in a positive way. I think I've said this time and time again, even if a woman hates you, you're in a better position than if she's apathetic towards you. Women are generally apathetic towards men. They ignore men. They don't answer their messages. They don't care about anything. If you can get any emotion out of a girl, even if it's hate, you're going to be all right. Like, I have plenty of girls I sleep with who I'm sure hate me. And if you can provoke an emotion in a female, no matter what it is, and I'm not saying it's easy to do, but if you can provoke an emotion, you're always going to be better than if she's bored or you provoke no emotion. That's when she's going to absolutely and utterly disappear. If you lose, no matter how well you played, if you lose, at some point you made a mistake. Even if it's the most minor mistake, you made a mistake. So you learn to understand that no matter what happens to you, if you lose a scenario, you made a mistake. Maybe it's a tiny one. Maybe it was 2 years ago, whatever, but you made a mistake and you learn absolute and utter accountability for yourself. And that mentality is extremely powerful to apply to all things in life. All of this is my fault, but the Bugatti on my drive is my fault and the yacht is my fault. The private jet's my fault. So it's all my fault. So I take the good with the bad. I take all responsibility for absolutely everything, including if a woman leaves me, if a woman stays, if I end up heartbroken, if I end up filled with rage, I take responsibility for that. If something happens to me that makes me enraged, I will take responsibility. Why has this happened to me? Why do I feel this way? How did I end up in this position? Is this healthy in this scenario? And sometimes it is. I've had scenarios in my life where I was prepared to die to protect somebody else and I was enraged and it was healthy. I've also had times where I'm in a room by myself, enraged, sitting there going, this is no good for anybody. I need to just calm down. Mm-hmm. So emotions are feedback, but stoicism is the ability to process them. And that's what you need to be learn as a man. You're never going to be able to turn them off. You're going to feel them. You have to learn how to process them and turn them into a positive. It's energy. It's unlimited energy. I say this all the time. I say that the biggest periods of transformation in my life is when everything was going wrong. But when I make my biggest progress, when I really change who I am and change the world, that's when everything, when things go wrong or I'm feeling things I don't want to feel or bad things are happening, that's when I'm like, okay, I currently cannot sleep. I've completed the day's tasks. I've tried to go to bed. I can't sleep. More shit has to be done. That's when the amazing things happen in my life. When I was heartbroken, when I was whatever, everyone's been heartbroken. I can't remember a specific example. I hit the gym harder, right? If something goes wrong with your payment processor, that's when you get inventive. That's business, right? That's when you get inventive. So all the bad things that happen to you as a man, if you're stoic, you get to take unlimited energy. Heartbreak is unlimited energy. So is depression. So is rage. So is sadness. All these negative emotions they tell you to collapse behind.
I always knew the answer to everything is raw action. The answer to everything has always been raw action. My dad had a tweet about this. He said that raw action solves all. And he used to say this. I'll give you an example. If you're a farmer and you need rain for your crop and there's no rain, you can sit there and say there's no rain, we're all going to starve. Or you can stand up and do a rain dance. Now, will your rain dance work? Perhaps not. Perhaps the rain won't come. But I would argue that you're better off standing up doing that rain dance than just sitting there waiting to die. You have to do something. Raw action solves. So when I was broke, I was never like, I'm poor. What do I do? It was, I'm poor. I have to do something. if I was broke, I'd go for a run. That's why I was such a great fighter. If I was broke, I'd sit there and go, I'm actually poor. How do I make money? Dunno. Where can I get some cash? Dunno. What work can I do? Dunno. Oh, I'll just go for a run then. And I just go for 3-mile run. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die. A lot of people are happy to just sit still and die or can go to sleep and take a nap. Well, if that's what you want to do, then you can say a loser. That's fine. I'm glad there are losers because if everyone had Lamborghinis, my Lamborghini wouldn't be fun to show off. I need you to look at it and feel the deep pain in your heart of regret and failure. That's the whole point of it. I need to drive my Bugatti and everyone be looking at it going, I'll never have one of those. And I can get all their energy and feel it all. And it makes me happy. Fantastic. So you can sit at home and do nothing. But when I was poor, I had to go for a run. I couldn't sit still or lift weights or do something. I couldn't even sleep. So raw action solves everything. And I understood that at a young age. But as you get older, you get to look back and you get to put your whole story together, the whole tapestry together. I knew I wouldn't stay poor. Did I ever think I'd get this rich? Well, I never said I wouldn't, but did I ever think it would probably happen at this level? No, but it's amazing how the compounding interest of just endless raw action adds up. I've never had a lazy day. I've never skipped work, never missed an email, never had a day off, ever. You name if you were to go through the last 3 years of my life, you will see that there's never been a day where I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And it all just adds up and then monumental success comes and you get to laugh at everybody else. Ha ha ha. And life's great. Well, I think that initially fighting is always the best thing you can ever do. Especially it's the best way to spend your 20s because you heal superhumanly. You heal like Wolverine. And I can't think of a better use of that superhuman healing ability besides fighting. And it's going to teach you everything you need to know about personal accountability and hard work and overcoming fear and dedication and discipline. There's so many lessons to be found inside of fighting. And plus, it's the most respected sport on the planet. And I think that you'll learn more about yourself and more about life and more about the realities of how the world works if you're a fighter. So I think that's what's so fantastic about it. All of my wisdom and all the things I say doesn't come from books. It comes from life experience. And a lot of my life experience is the brutal realities of violence. So people say, oh, Andrew's so smart. Andrew's so wise. Andrew knows so many things. I've learned all of that simply through fighting. And if you're a warrior in life, the arena may change, but the battle never ends. Yeah. It's just never ending. And you have to get used to fighting. You have to get used to being under pressure and under stress all the time and being the kind of person who can perform and smile anyway. And I'm glad I spent my 20s training because I can't think of something else. I find it amazing that like I speak to people my age and I say, in my 20s, I spent maybe, I don't know, let's say 3 hours a day. What's a decade of 3 hours a day? Let's say 10,000 hours. I spent 10,000 hours in the gym training. You're the same age as me. What did you do with those 10,000 hours? And they can't even tell me what they did. What did you do? Watch TV, go out, go pub, sit around, sleep, nap, chase women. What did you actually do? We had the same amount of waking hours and the same amount of minutes. I know where 10,000 hours of my minutes went, and that's why I'm the champ. That's why I have 4 title belts above my bed. That's how I spent my 10,000 hours. Tell me what you did with your 10,000 hours, which is equal to, comparable to, or superior than how I spent my time. And they can't even name what they did with any of their time. They're like, don't know. Yeah. So if you're 16, you need to be using every single waking minute towards things you're going to remember. You're going to remember training. You're going to remember working hard. You're going to remember trying to make money. You're spending your life and wasting your time doing things you're not even going to be able to recollect in a few years. You're going to wonder why you fall behind the people who don't waste time. Time is the ultimate currency. Time is money. Time is also strength and power and networks, connection. Time is everything. You can convert it. It's like malleable. Time is like Play-Doh. Yeah. You can turn it into anything. You can turn it into muscles if you go to the gym. Turn it into fighting prowess if you go to the fight gym. But people have all this time and they just mush around with it. And then they're like, don't know why I'm failing. I wish I was successful. When you're living that type of life and you end up searching for meaning, you end up down the path of hedonism because the meaning is I want to have as much fun as possible. But fun in and of itself, I was talking to another girl and I was saying to her that fun, she was saying to me, you know what, Andrew, all you do is work. You never really have fun. And I said, fun is haram. He goes, is fun really haram? I'm like, no, it's not. But please understand what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is when you look at what most people do for fun, it's haram. Look, with fun is clubs, drinking, running around, laughing like a kid, all this, all the bad things in life, the negative haramities can be attained through this obsession with fun. If you find a man who's obsessed with work, I have things I need to do and I feel satisfied inside when I do them. I have duty and I have work and I have obligations to fill and objectives to meet. I feel happy when they are done. That is my fun. My fun is clearing my emails, making $2 million in the day, buying another investment property I don't need, going to bed, training hard, eating right. That's my fun. Call me boring. That's what I enjoy.
when you were talking about that lifestyle and what you end up searching for in that hedonism, you just end up searching for excesses, right? To have more fun, you want to get more drunk, go to more clubs, and it's just a black hole. It never ends, and you end up destroying yourself. Yep. We need discipline. We need purpose. We need to have parameters set for us. And truthfully, as a person, you're happier that way. That's why I quit drinking. People think I quit drinking because I reverted to Islam. That's not why. I actually quit drinking 2 months before that. I was extremely effective on alcohol. I would drink 4 or 5 times a week because I'm extremely rich and I have a very good life and I'm in my mansion and I'm drinking. I was still world famous. I was still making millions of dollars. I was still in fantastic physical condition. All the videos you watched me from a year and a half ago, I still look like a bodybuilder. I still outperformed everybody. I didn't have a drink problem. I could easily quit. In fact, I didn't even want to drink most of the time. It's just a party going on. I was still monumentally successful on alcohol and I could continue to drink alcohol for the rest of my life. But I stopped because I thought, will I enjoy having less fun? Will it be fun to have less fun? Okay, that's all fun. But would it be fun to have less fun? And I said, maybe instead of spending all of our money doing this stuff, we should spend all of our money getting very regimented. We should have loads of members of staff and we should be up at exactly 7:46 and we should have a coffee ready and hot at 7:47. And at 8:01, we should go into the gym and we should finish at 8:27 and we should have all of it. We should have everything regimented and we should produce more content than ever before, become richer than ever before, but just remove the fun and have fun in not having fun and just being monumentally competent and effective. Okay. Well, I'll try it. Let me try for 6 months to give up all fun and just be boring. And then I learned some very interesting things during that time. Firstly, I learned that the whole idea of drinking for being social is now gone. I think we're at the age where if you were 21 and you didn't drink, you didn't have a life. There's no reason to drink for socializing because everything's online anyway. You meet everybody on apps. Nobody cares about drinking anymore. That's the first thing I learned. The second thing I learned is that being exceptionally regimented is fun. I truly enjoy it. I enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed because what would happen before is I'd do all my work and I'd train hard and I was always an effective person. I was still 1,000 times more effective than the average man. And then I would take 6 or 7 hours and drink and smoke and have fun and enjoy the fruits of my labor. I became extremely rich. Why not get in a private jet and have fun? But now instead of spending those 6 hours having fun, I spend those 6 hours continuing to work and I enjoy it just as much. So now I'm sitting there going, well, I enjoy it just as much. And I'm not damaging my health. I enjoy it just as much and I'm making more money. So it really, truly ruins my day when a beautiful girl's like, can I see you? It's like, I've got work to do. I'm regimented. I have to sit here and type. I don't want to talk to you and have fun and party. I don't want to do any of that. I want to do emails. You don't get it. I know to you it makes no sense. But you already have all this money. Why do you want to do emails? Because that's my fun now, regiment. So I decided to dedicate 6 months to being boring. And by the end of the 6 months, I was having so much fun being boring that now I will probably never drink again. I am 0% tempted to drink ever again. I'm 0% tempted by fun, which is what you said. And I completely get it. When someone goes, we're going to go here and it's going to be fun. I'm like, nah, you have fun. I'll do my emails. You enjoy. I don't want to go to clubs. I don't want to go to some party. I'm not interested in traveling. I'm not interested in seeing anything. I've seen it all anyway. I've been everywhere. Like, who cares? I'm above it all. I'm over it all. I want to run my empire and I want to spend time with people I love and I want to beat my brother at Uno and that's it. I don't want to do anything. Maybe I've gotten boring. Maybe I've leaned too much into the boring character, but I truly enjoy just being boring and regimented. And I like getting as much work done as possible. And that's why I'll never ever drink again. So the whole concept of fun is alien to me. I totally get it now. When you said that, you're totally right. It's fun isn't fun. And then achieving things in work is fun. The only thing I guess I can say I do for fun is driving fast cars, but then I need to make $800,000 to buy a Ferrari. So it's still work involved, there's still work involved, but I really believe God's given me one of the best lives and I can't complain about anything bad that's happened. It's all been fantastic. I'm truly thankful for all of it. I think if a couple bad things happen to you, you should be intelligent enough to realize that eventually you're going to get over it and you're going to learn an important lesson. It's going to change you in the correct direction. And Allah is the best of planners and he knows what you need to learn. I think that as humans, especially as men, we only learn the hard way anyway. There's 2 ways to learn a lesson, the hard way and the hardest way. There's no easy way to learn a lesson. You have to learn the hard way. So God gives us lessons via difficulty. He thinks you need to learn this about yourself or this about other people. So I'm going to give you a difficult time so you can learn your lesson. Because if I just said, hey, Andrew,
This is how the world works. You go, yeah, yeah. But when I show you, when you feel it, my fight coach used to say, you have to feel it to believe it. That's why if he was teaching low kicks, he'd kick your leg off. Because you don't believe in the power of a low kick. You don't believe a low kick can be so devastating unless you've felt it. You have to feel it to believe it. So God will give you a difficult time so you learn your lessons. And the lessons are very important for you to be the person who you need to be in this life. He's the best of planners. And I'm thankful for all the lessons he's given me. He's bestowed knowledge upon me. How could I not be grateful to God for making me so intelligent and wise and the ability to look into things so deeply and come up to the right decision and basically predict the future perfectly? You have to have difficulty happening to you all the time. So when you sit and say, I want an easy life, what you're saying is you're a dummy and you want to be a dummy. You want to stay a dummy. I want an easy life and I don't want anything bad to happen to me because even though it will teach me lessons, I'm too big I can't handle the emotional pain. I can't handle the stress. I don't want to be a dummy. I want to be smart. If I want to be smart, then hurt me. I just know that I become a more formidable, more competitive version of myself after every single bad thing that's ever happened to me. It's one less thing to fear. It's one less thing to be worried about. I've done it before. Because it's also very interesting because you talk about wisdom. You use the word wisdom and I appreciate the compliment. I don't read books. I never read a book because I don't have time. All of the wisdom I have, all of this knowledge I speak, all of these things I say have been learned through basically difficulty of life, through professional fighting and being poor and all bad things happening to me and struggle. All of my lessons have been bad things, bad events, bad scenarios, bad situations, pain, suffering, anger, resentment. All of these horrible emotions are how I've learned everything. So I thank God for giving them to me. And anyone who wants an easy life wants to stay a dummy. What do you learn if you just get money, you buy a crypto coin, it blows up, you get some money, you go to some restaurants? What do you learn about anything? You don't. Completely. And then the thing is so interesting is that the people who are choosing the safe option is actually choosing the most risky option. So you're not taking a safe option. You're taking a coward's way out, and it leads to exactly where a coward's way should lead. Cowards in the end do not get to enjoy the shade of the olive tree because unless you fought in the arena, unless you've been a gladiator, you never get the peace of mind and peace of heart, which is afforded from bravery. So if you choose the safe choices in life, thinking, I'm going to take the safe route, you don't end up anywhere safe. The safe option doesn't work anymore. You need to take risks. You need to try and start your own business. You need to go all in on things. You need to go wild. You need to be a man who's not afraid to stand up and think, it's all on my back and I'm going to find a way to pull this off. Because any other way, any other option in the world today only leads to a bad scenario. Yeah. The safest thing you can do are the riskiest things. That's the now scenario we're in. Every single gamble I've taken, which was seen as risky, all paid off for me because I dedicated myself completely.
So how do you find happiness? Happiness is in struggle. The struggle and the size of the struggle you're facing, along with how important it is and how important you feel it is deep in your heart, is directly correlated to how successful and how happy you're going to feel all of the time. Struggle is extremely important for a man. You should be looking to inject struggle into your life permanently. We talked about this in the past emergency meeting because if you're injecting struggle and that struggle solving those problems lead to a positive place, once you become addicted to it, you're going to become a machine of monumental achievement. There are some very simple basic things you can do. Weight training, chess, having debates, trying your very best to take care of your mother, retire her. Make sure that your people who you love are taken care of. You need goals and resistance and something to fight against to live well. Because the distance between pain and joy is what we experience. If you only have joy all of the time and no pain, you are not going to be happy. You don't need drugs. You don't need alcohol. You don't need parties or festivals. You don't need fun. Fun is the vector from which Satan operates. Every time you look at something which is fun, it's all just hedonistic. There's no money to be made. You don't retire your mother. You don't help the world. You don't give to charity. You don't become stronger. You don't become wiser. You don't learn anything. Next time you think of what is fun, and someone goes, guys, come, it'll be fun. Sit there, go, wait. Will it? Experiences are unique. Jail was a unique experience. Bunch of fun. Unique. Life's not about fun as a man. Life is about doing the right thing because it must be done. Now, there are some things that are fun which can be earned. And there are some things which are fun that you could do, which perhaps involve skill. Driving a supercar around a racetrack is fun. It involves skill. You have to be good at what you do. Cool. But a lot of this fun that is easily accessible to everyone, because not everybody can get a Ferrari on a closed racetrack. I can. You can't because you're poor.
You do not need fun until you've already reached the highest possible echelon. So this whole idea that you need fun in your life, you don't. What you need is purpose. You need discipline. You need hard work. You need things to do which are going to benefit you and the others around you. You need duty. You need obligations, and you need performance metrics. You need people around you who are going to hold you accountable. You don't need to be waking up thinking about fun. You're nobodies. You're not important. Nobody knows who you are. You're not physically strong. You're not financially wealthy. You have bigger concerns. You're obsessed with this idea of fun. Hey, what are we going to do this weekend? We need to have some fun. Do you? Do you need fun? Do you deserve it? Really? Have you actually gone out there in the universe and made a mark large enough that you're allowed some time off to have some fun? You don't deserve any fun. You don't need any fun. You have work to do. Your obsession with fun is holding you back. These things you think are fun aren't fun.
Checking your bank balance in your house, not going out, you're not in the club, and seeing $20 million liquid is very fun.
That's right.
Much more fun than anything you could possibly ever do. So, although it wasn't fun to sit around and accumulate that kind of wealth, it's the funnest thing in the universe, in a way.
For a man, your contentment will come from your purpose, and it will come from your competence, and it will come from succeeding objectives. It will come from completing difficult things that other people cannot complete. It will never come from the easily accessible hedonism, which you have confused for fun. If everybody can do it, you shouldn't want to do it. If everybody can go to that concert, you shouldn't want to go. If everybody can go to that club, you shouldn't want to go. But you should only want to do things others can't do. The only fun I have is doing things I know you're not allowed to do. Putting my Bugatti on an A380 and flying it around the world to a racetrack, which I've rented out for only me and only my friends to race around cars. You can't do that. I can. That is fun. But if you say to me, Andrew, come to this party, and I say, well, who's there? Everyone. Oh, everyone's there. Does that mean I need to go? Right? It's the event of the century. Ooh, everyone's there. If everyone's there, it's trash. So you need to sit there and go, all right, I'm being asked to do something fun. Who else can do this? And if the answer is everybody, stop. I clear my emails. I've trained hard that day. I've made a couple $1 million. I've spec'd a brand new car. I've checked on all the people I love, all the people I care about. I've donated some money to charity. My children are fed. Their mothers are taken care of. Everything is in order. Everything is in its proper place. That is fun. If you say to me, Andrew, skip a portion of that organization and professionalism so that we can go and do something that everyone else can do, my answer will be no. That does not sound fun to me. And the fact that you think that's fun shows that you have a severe mental deficiency. Stay away from it. You're only going to find actual fun through purpose. And you're only going to find purpose through exceptionalism. So you need to become the best possible version of yourself in all realms. That's extremely important. The reason you are so unhappy is because you are trying to have fun. You're unhappy because you're trying to have fun instead of trying to become important. They are very different things, and you're never going to feel satisfied in your heart unless you become important. Please imagine.
And being important is fun.
Oh, it's absolutely fun. Please imagine, and I don't state this with arrogance, please imagine for a second you're the most Googled man on the planet, and you're a kickboxing world champion, and you have hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're built like a tank. Imagine how you feel when you look in the mirror. Nothing can match that, and nothing can beat that. As a man, you need to have struggle in your life. And I want you guys to actually sit and think, what struggle are you going through daily? What struggle are you undertaking? What struggle are you trying to overcome? Because you should make a list of them. I can know for myself, every single day I wake up and I train physically. Every single day I have to go through X amount of physical pain when my day begins. That is a struggle that must be completed. Then I must try and keep my massive empire online, see my children, take care of everybody. There's struggle involved. My life is difficult. Difficult lives are fulfilling because we used to have to hunt and fish and go out there and go through difficulty to survive. And I often see that when I speak to people who are too comfortable, they end up being unhappy.
Yeah.
You can't entertain yourself to happiness. You must earn happiness. You must climb a mountain. You must struggle yourself to happiness. That's extremely important. There must be physical, mental, social, creative, some kind of spiritual struggle. And those things being satisfied is what's going to satisfy you. It's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a mathematical equation. You solve the equation, you get a Bitcoin. Life is very much the same. There's struggles, there's difficulties which you have undertaken, which you have adopted to try and complete. And when you finish those things, then you get satisfaction as a reward. That's the Bitcoin. The only other alternative to that to feel good is hedonism, which is drugs and alcohol. And that's not going to satisfy you for very long. And it's also going to destroy your life. So it's extremely important. This is actually why people are addicted to video games. Young men are addicted to video games because it mimics virtually what they ought to be doing in the real world.
Yeah.
Effort in to upgrade their character, to become a better version of themselves so they can do better things than they could previously do and explore new areas of the map. The areas of the map, which are Bugatti convention, flying there on a private jet to sit with billionaires.
The Grand Casino Monaco is a cool area of the map that you have not unlocked yet, but it's great.
Which requires you to upgrade your character as a person. You understand this in video games, and you do it in video games because it's very interesting to do. However, you don't want to do it in the real world. But in the real world, it's so much more rewarding. And I actually going to argue that we're living in one of the final periods where that's true. I'd say in a few generations, who you are and who your physical body is may not matter nearly as much.
No, but it does matter today. A lot.
Exactly. So that's why you should enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
So you need to pick the low-hanging fruit first. And the starting block to all of these things is your body. I believe if you lift, stretch, move, improve your body, try and train MMA, learn how to fight, get stronger, get bigger muscles, it's a fast track to self-discipline, which will carry over into all other endeavors. And I would argue that is nearly impossible. In fact, how many people can say the gym saved their life? How many people do you know were depressed, started training, got in fantastic shape, and weren't depressed anymore? It is very easy. The low-hanging fruit is your body and upgrading your body. That is the easiest struggle, which is never going to backfire on you and never going to be a negative towards any other facet of your life. And when I look at men who are physical specimens, I think everyone naturally does this, but I'm going to openly say it. I respect them differently than I look at men who aren't. I have a different level of respect for them because they show me they have discipline. They show me they have motivation. They show me they're capable of doing difficult and hard things. Those are the kind of people I trust. They're not afraid of struggle. They're problem solvers. People who train are problem solvers, and you need to become one, and you need to become very, very adept at solving problems pretty quickly. I actually find it amazing that there's people out there who aren't in perfect physical condition. Guys, let me tell you all a news flash. If you eat right and you train hard, you look good.
Yeah.
It's like a biological certainty. It's almost impossible to be fat and look bad if you eat right and train hard. Your body will react and give you exactly what you want. So why don't you all look like superheroes? Do you not understand how intimidating that is just when they look at a group of people and they all look like superheroes and they can tell they're all disciplined, all hardworking, all dedicated, all physically strong? The struggle is what's beautiful about it. That's the most important thing. That's what you have to understand.
Yeah, because no matter how rich you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter what family you're born into, you can only get into shape the same way as everybody else. So you could be Mark Zuckerberg, who's now in shape and he's a billionaire, but you can't say, oh, he bought it. He didn't buy it. He's just in great shape because he earned it like everyone else. You can be flat broke or rich as fuck. If you're in good shape, you had to earn it. It's as simple as that. So yeah, it says a lot about who you are as a person.
First, you want to become as strong as physically possible. So you want to be as strong as physically possible. Next, you want to try and make as much money as possible. Not even necessarily for the money, although money is extremely important because it allows you to take care of yourself. We talked about this before, but there's a challenge involved, and solving that challenge is going to make you feel more satisfied as a human. Happiness comes from success, and making money is success. You should try and make people around you smile and be happy. You should try and encourage positivity around you. You should be the kind of person that no one can really complain about their struggles around because they know that you're the person who's going to be like, why are you complaining when you could just simply fix it? Especially successful people. Successful people are uninterested in stealing because we'd rather everybody win and keep the friendship and keep the network and keep the positive organs and keep the good karma than make a little bit extra money. So it's amazing what you see in the world. And if you become a person who is happy and successful and can take care of himself and adopt struggles, you're going to start finding those other people who do the same thing, and then you're going to build a network and become fantastic. Live with men you're in competition with. So you and your friends need to have friendly competition at all times. Now, you need to meet your friends and you need to have banter and competition around things that matter. Who's got the most money? Who's worked hardest? Who's discovered XYZ, crypto, stock, new way of generating income? Who's trained that day? Who has the most children? Put some actual competitions together that matter and start competing and being around people because you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody knows this. So why don't you get some genuine metrics that will improve your life? You won't have time to stand around cooking meals if you're friends with somebody who works out for 3 hours a day, for example, because you're going to need to find 3 hours a day to train to beat him, which means you're going to have to just eat that rotisserie chicken as you do squats like a man should. Live with men you're in competition with. This is ultra important because you can measure yourself against your circle. If Tristan comes downstairs and says, I've done 1,000 push-ups, I will do anything it takes to do 1,001 just to annoy him because I know that he then has to do 1,002. And pissing him off is worth it. It's always worth it.
You're tired. You don't want to work. You want to go to sleep and just relax. You do it. Okay. Anyway.
That is the most basic imperative of the masculine frame, which has been destroyed in real time.
They are trying to convince you that you should act how you feel. You should show more of your feelings. If you feel this way, you should show it. If you want to cry, cry. What I'm saying is the reason they're trying to bring out emotionality in you is because of exactly what Myron said. Most of the time, you don't feel like doing the things you're supposed to do. But the true masculine frame throughout history was doing the things they didn't want to do, but they knew they had to do because they had honor and duty. That's what honor and duty means. Do you think the men on the Titanic wanted to stay on the fucking Titanic? No. We're men. We have to stay. We're scared, but we must. It's our duty to let the women and children on the lifeboats. This is masculine duty. A good man controls himself. I have absolute self-control. Emotional control is absolutely and utterly important as a man. I'm saying that you need to understand as a man, there are certain principles under which you act, regardless of how you feel. I can wake up in a terrible mood. I can wake up sad. I can ache. I can have a busy day, stressed, etc. I will complete the same tasks as if I woke up in a fantastic mood. I'll do the same things because how I feel has no bearing on the things I'm going to do with my day because I have duty to myself and to my bloodline. Because you think there's something wrong with you. You go, well, I lack motivation. I don't have the motivation to go to the gym. Well, here's the newsflash. Neither did I. And I still did it. So now what are you going to say? Now you have no excuse, right? Oh, you're scared to get in the ring. So was I. Still did it. Scared to get in the cage. So was I. I still did it. Being a man isn't about not feeling things. It's about acting the way you're supposed to act regardless of how you feel. We act. We're men of action. We get things done. So the world got built. All of it. All the men who built skyscrapers felt scared. They did it anyway. You need to become a man of action. Stop worrying about how you feel and start worrying about what you're supposed to be doing. How about that?
I've always been disciplined myself because I've always lived a disciplined life. I lived in a disciplined household. Like there was no such thing as I don't want to. So even now if I wake up and I don't want to do something, I don't need someone to tell me to do it because I'll do it anyway. I mean, who wants to run a marathon? Nobody. Who wants to do that? You just do it, don't you? Because, you know, it's a thing you're going to have to do. And you have to blood, sweat, tears. There is a version of the world where you can feel things and really not give a how you feel. Like, if I feel sad, it does not change how I act. And it does not change the things I do. If I don't feel like going to the gym, I go to the gym. If I don't feel like working, I will still work. If I wake up in a happy mood and I have a business to run, if I wake up in a sad mood, I have the same shit to do. I'm going to get it done. So where's the importance of it? It's in my mind, that's how I view it. Like, how does that affect what I'm going to do? Well, nothing. It doesn't.
Motivation in and of itself is a scam. I don't believe in motivation. I believe in discipline. I am not motivated to do the things I'm supposed to do. I don't wake up full of like joy. I have to go to the gym or that I have to work or I deal with crap. I don't feel motivated to do them. I'm disciplined. I do them regardless of how I feel. Whether I'm in the mood to do it or I'm not in the mood to do it, it gets done. That's discipline. Discipline's a real thing. Motivation is fleeting. You're never going to be permanently motivated. If you're the kind of person who can only try hard at something he enjoys, then you're going to fail.
If you truly want to win, you can't only want to win when you're happy, and you can't only want to win when you're motivated. You're competing against men like me who will perform even when it's raining, not only when the sun is shining. If you're going to be the kind of person who can only do it in one of those scenarios, you are going to lose. You must be prepared to perform all of the time. I have a lot of people who message me and say, oh, I struggle with motivation. And my answer is simple. Then stay a loser. If you can't find the motivation to not be a loser, then I strongly recommend you just stay a loser, stay in your lane, and stay out of my way. I have no time for people who cannot find the motivation to fix themselves and fix their own lives. I've been the kind of person who will perform 7 days a week. It doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter what's happened. It doesn't matter if I'm happy or sad. Things must be done. And this is the mindset you need to adopt if you want to be a winner.
I think a man should have absolutely no interest in whether he's actually happy. If I wake up and I'm unhappy, I will do the exact same things as if I am happy. I will go to the gym the same. I will work the same. How I feel has no impact on how I live my life. I don't think happiness as an index is a healthy view for a man to have on life success. If you're waking up and going, oh, am I happy? Am I not? You're looking at life wrong. I think of a man, if you put happiness if you move it down the scale, right? And you start looking at, am I successful? Am I competent? You know, am I achieving things? Am I respected? If you start to look at these indicators of your life, you're going to end up being happier without actually analyzing if you're happy or not.